thought I knew everything about life when I turned 69. I had raised 3 children, buried my husband of 42 years, and survived more heartbreaks than I care to count. But sitting in that hospital bed last December, staring at the ceiling tiles while waiting for my cancer diagnosis, I realized how much I still had to learn about living. My name is Margaret, and next month I'll be celebrating my 71st birthday. Not celebrating the way I used to, with elaborate parties and expensive dinners, but celebrating in a way that would have seemed impossible to my younger self. I'm celebrating the quiet moments, the small victories, and yes, even the struggles that brought me here. The first secret I wish I'd known earlier is that your body will betray you, but your spirit doesn't have to follow. When I was 50, I could garden for hours, chase my grandchildren around the yard, and dance until midnight at my daughter's wedding. By 65, my knees creaked when I stood up, and I needed reading glasses to see the grocery list I'd written myself. I fought this aging process like it was an enemy to be defeated. But here's what changed everything. That morning in the oncologist's office, when Dr. Peterson told me I had stage 2 breast cancer. I remember the way the fluorescent lights hummed above us, how his pen clicked nervously against his clipboard, and the smell of antiseptic that seemed to coat the back of my throat. In that moment, I stopped fighting my body and started listening to it instead. My body wasn't betraying me. It was telling me a story. Every ache, every limitation, every new wrinkle was a chapter in a book I was still writing. The chemotherapy that followed taught me that strength isn't about what you can lift or how far you can walk. It's about sitting in that infusion chair for 4 hours, watching the medicine drip into your veins, and choosing hope over fear with each breath. The second secret is about loneliness, and this one cuts deep. After Robert died 5 years ago, I thought I understood what alone meant. I'd wake up to silence, eat dinner watching the evening news, and go to bed in a house that felt too big and too quiet. But real loneliness isn't about being physically alone. It's about feeling disconnected from purpose, from joy, from the person you used to be. I spent 2 years after Robert's death trying to fill the silence with noise. I joined every club, volunteered at 3 different organizations, and said yes to every social invitation. I was busier than I'd ever been, surrounded by people constantly, yet I felt more isolated than ever. The loneliness followed me everywhere because I was running from it instead of sitting with it. The breakthrough came on a rainy Tuesday afternoon when I was sorting through Robert's old books. I found his copy of To Kill a Mockingbird with notes scribbled in the margins, his thoughts, his questions, his reactions to passages that moved him. I sat on our bedroom floor reading his handwriting, and for the first time since he died, I felt connected to him again. Not in a desperate, clinging way, but in a peaceful, grateful way. That's when I understood. Loneliness isn't cured by filling your calendar. It's transformed when you learn to be comfortable with your own company, when you can sit in silence without needing to escape it. Now I have coffee with myself every morning, and we have the most interesting conversations. The third secret is perhaps the most surprising. Your dreams don't have expiration dates, but they do evolve. At 45, I dreamed of traveling to Europe with Robert, of seeing our grandchildren graduate college, of growing old gracefully in our little house with the blue shutters. Some of those dreams came true, others were stolen by circumstances beyond my control. But here's what I discovered during my cancer treatment. New dreams can bloom even in the harshest seasons. While I was bald and exhausted from chemotherapy, I started writing letters to my grandchildren, not just birthday cards or holiday notes, but real letters about life, love, mistakes, and hope. What began as a way to pass time became something beautiful. I'm now writing a book of letters for future generations of our family, stories they might never hear otherwise. I also learned to paint. At 70 years old, I walked into an art supply store and bought my first set of watercolors. My hands shake a little now, so my lines aren't perfect, but there's something magical about watching colors blend on paper, about creating something that didn't exist before. My paintings hang in my kitchen now, next to my grandchildren's artwork, and they make me smile every time I see them. The fourth secret is about forgiveness, and it's not what you think. Everyone talks about forgiving others, but the hardest person to forgive is yourself. I carried guilt for decades. Guilt about the times I was impatient with my children, guilt about arguments with Robert that seemed so important then, guilt about opportunities I didn't take and words I didn't say. Cancer has a way of putting things in perspective. When you're facing your own mortality, you realize that the energy you've spent punishing yourself could have been used for so much more. I wrote letters of apology to people I'd hurt, including one to myself. That letter was the hardest to write and the most important to send. The final secret I want to share is this. Every day you wake up is a gift, but not in the way greeting cards tell you. It's not a gift because life is always beautiful or easy or fair. It's a gift because you get another chance to choose who you want to be, another opportunity to love someone, another moment to notice the way sunlight filters through your kitchen window, or how your cat purrs when she's content. 6 months ago, my doctor told me I'm in remission. The cancer is gone, but I'm not the same person who walked into that hospital. I'm someone who understands that life isn't about avoiding pain or chasing happiness. It's about showing up fully for whatever comes, finding meaning in the ordinary moments, and remembering that every ending is also a beginning. If you're listening to this and you're facing your own challenges, whether it's illness, loss, loneliness, or just the weight of years, I want you to know that your story isn't over. There are still chapters to write, still dreams to discover, still people to love, and ways to grow. Age isn't about counting down. It's about adding up all the wisdom, all the love, all the resilience you've gathered along the way. What secrets have you learned that you wish you'd known sooner? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below.